Hi, I'm Dallas with Trusted Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. I'm here with Jeff with Sinclair Supply. We're here to talk to you today about high efficiency furnaces. A lot of questions we get in the industry are what type of furnaces are available. I still get a lot of customers asking me about mid-efficient. That's actually a thing of the past. So we're here to talk about today's technology, what's available, and we're going to talk in particular about the Tempstar brand in this particular line.
There's 3 different versions that we're allowed to bring into Canada now. We have a single stage that is on and off. We have a 2-stage furnace that has 2 different stages in it. And we have a modulating furnace that Dallas will go into more detail about it.
Talking about the single stage furnace, it's a very simplistic, reliable, efficient design. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of the 2-stage. It doesn't have the newest tech the modulating furnace has. However, this furnace will suit quite a few needs. Quite a few, it's great for a smaller home, a simple design, something that's not multiple stories, something that's not in a zone type of situation. If you're not zoning and you're just looking for a basic workhorse, a single stage is a great way to go. So let's talk a little bit about our 2-stage furnace. This one here is a great product, and the reason I really like the 2-stage furnaces is because there's so many applications that they can fit. They're very versatile. They're dependable. The technology's been out there for 20 plus years, so this is tried and true technology. These are real workhorses. These are reliable. The parts cost has really come down. The big advantage to having a 2-stage furnace is essentially you got 2 furnaces in one cabinet, so you can run 60% of the input capacity, or you can run it 100%, which is great for saving on fuel in the winter, because 90% of the year you can run this furnace on single stage and be saving on fuel, and it'll heat your home just fine. And when you get those really cold days and you need to pick up more than 2-3 degrees, it'll automatically go into its 2nd stage and meet your point of need. It'll meet that set temperature. Jeff, maybe you could talk to us a little bit about the technology and the variable speed motor that's in these units.
Sure, not a problem. Appreciate that. For what Dallas says, there's definitely 2 furnaces in each one. So at the 60% range of what it's going to put out at the beginning at the lower side, it's fantastic for 90% of the time in Saskatchewan. But as we know, we get to -40, our walls are cold and floors are cold and everything else is cold. We need to bump it up. So there's a certain built-in timer, if you don't want to use a special stat, that it'll bump it up. If it's not getting warm enough in the house, all of a sudden this furnace will say, hey, I need more heat, and it's going to give you that more heat. You're not going to have to worry about it. It's built-in logic, and it's going to work well. It also has the variable speed motor in it. It's also ECM, so electronically communicated motor that runs at a much cheaper version for power. But what this one does compared to the single stage is this one, if the furnace filter gets a little dirty, it will physically ramp itself up a little bit to maintain that airflow across your whole ductwork, to making sure your house is comfortable. What I can tell you about the modulating furnace is it's designed to run 20 minutes every time it calls for heat. So the thermostat's going to call for heat, saying, hey, the house needs heat. This furnace wants to run 20 minutes to maintain your heat in your house in all the rooms. So it wants to run that furnace fan to make sure everybody's consistent, and it all makes it around. So if the furnace only runs for 15 minutes and shuts off, it's going to give it less BTUs. Let's say it's 100,000 BTUs and it only runs 15 minutes. So it's going to go down to 80 until it finds that fine time where it runs 20 minutes and shuts off. That's going to give you the most consistency in your house. And it's going to use the least amount of fuel to run that, to make that happen. It also has a variable speed blower in it, so it's going to overcome some of the ductwork issues and dirty filters and such.
So let's talk about home comfort. So the beauty of these furnaces is they all offer a different level of comfort. A single stage furnace, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you are going to experience more temperature swings, more hot and cold spots throughout the house, because essentially this furnace operates like an on-off switch. It's either on or it's off for your heating, whereas this unit here is got 2 stages. It's going to run a little bit longer cycle time. It's going to get rid of more of those hot and cold spots throughout your home. It's going to be comparable to this guy, the modulating, but the 2 stages, it's really going to do everything a residential house needs you to do. Now the modulating is even a step up from that. This unit is capable of maintaining an even more comfortable home, maintaining a more even temperature, less fluctuations, less hot and cold spots throughout your home. That's what we have here, is just 3 different options, kind of if you want to look at it in terms of good, better, best, you can. However, there's quite a few variables to look at, right? This is just on an efficiency and technology standpoint that yes, technically this one would be the best, but this unit still has its place in the industry and it still fits almost any application. So very versatile. Personally, I like technology that's been around, tried and true. So it's not that I wouldn't go with one of these, but I'm a little old school. I still like the two-stage technology, the reliability, again, price point, with the rebate. This really makes it easy to use in almost any application. Right here, we have what's called the primary heat exchanger, essentially the heart of the system. On a high efficiency furnace, there's actually two components to this. There's a primary heat exchanger, and this is the secondary heat exchanger, which actually mounts to the bottom of this. Essentially what happens is, as the gas is being released through the burner manifold, it's actually going to get drawn in through the heat exchanger through these different sections. These are called cells. So these are the 4 different cells on this particular heat exchanger. So the inducer motor is actually going to induce a draft, which is going to pull your flame all the way through your heat exchanger, your primary heat exchanger, and it's also going to go through your secondary heat exchanger. So the old mid-efficient furnaces didn't have this second component. That's what makes high efficiency furnaces so interesting. And this is actually the way that they're able to achieve these higher efficiencies, is through the secondary heat exchanger.